Rise Extra on a Tuesday. It is March 31st or March 97th or March 202nd.
For real.
No matter what you kind of think. I've seen all those memes out there of all the dates. So to mark this momentous occasion of getting through the hellish month that was March, we are asking you, what was the thing that totally threw you for a loop out of this crazy month? What was the one kind of change that really was the wildest to you? I remember you guys maybe a month ago. When did the NBA stop? How many weeks ago was that? You boys will know.
It was Wednesday, March 11th.
How did you know that exactly? Okay.
Well, Drew knows, yeah.
I remember on Wednesday, March 11th, or I guess it would be the 12th, when we did this show, and I said, you know, this is crazy, like the NBA, the league stopped, and then that day we were seeing all these other sports leagues stop. And Brenda, I remember you asking, like, what's going to happen next? And I said, well, what do you mean? What else could possibly happen? Like, that is just mind-blowing to me.
Yeah, I mean, we had kind of an internal little argument, kind of like families do. Like some of you in the building, not just here on this screen, we're like, oh, no, you know, it's coming. It was a more lackadaisical attitude toward it. And I'm like, no, my gut tells me this is bad. I'm not sure. And yeah, it was trippy how many things changed. I remember the first time that my boss called me into his office. We call it the corner pocket because it's right over there on the edge of the room. And he said, I want you to go down to the square. I want you out of the building.
That was a weird day.
And I was like, what do you mean you want me out of the building? Like, not just social distancing, you want me gone? And then I think it was the very next day, Drew, because all of you were still back at the mothership. And then the boss came to you and said, I want you working from home. And I remember looking at your face because I wasn't part of that discussion.
Drew's
but I
face
caught
was priceless.
It was just like stunned.
Well,
it was like none of us are going to be together.
If we're going to be completely honest here, it did not come from the boss directly.
No, that was a very weird experience.
One of the boss's henchmen came over to me and told me what I was going to be doing for the foreseeable future. But yeah, I kind of looked at Nina like, huh?
What?
I'm doing what?
Yeah.
Yeah, you did.
And what am I going to do when I get to my house?
Huh?
Yeah. That was a pretty bizarre
I remember
day.
like it was
Go ahead,
yesterday.
Rob.
You know?
Hey,
And then they were getting you ready, Rob, to go
for a
home.
while.
You guys remember, right? The boss stuck his head out of his office and said, Rod Hill, get out! Get out now! And I went, oh, wow, really?
I mean, but I just couldn't fathom like a stay-at-home order in the United States of America, freedom-loving America, where we don't like to be told what to do, and having never lived through really much hardship on our own soil, it was just mind-boggling to, I mean, I would never considered that. I thought, what else could possibly happen? And Brenda, you said, you know, well, the shopping malls could shut down. I'm like, nah, I just don't know. Like, that would take a lot. I mean, I just never thought we would get to this point. But the Tom Hanks news and the NBA game, while everyone was sitting in their seats being suspended, and then hearing shortly after that a player had tested positive, like that was kind of the whoa, my goodness moment. What about for you guys?
Well, you remember, first off, sports were saying, well, we're going to continue, but there will be no audience, right?
For much of sports.
And then they just called everything off. And then I remember thinking, so I'm 58 years old. I was born in 1962. And I remember thinking, I've never seen big business take a back seat in this country. And clearly the NCAA tournament, big business. The NBA, big business. You know, shopping malls, so-called big business. So I think that's going to be one of my memories. It was one of the moments that big business took a back seat, and I had never seen that before, guys. Yeah.
I think just, was it the end of last week when we heard that the Olympics would be postponed? And, you know, it doesn't get any bigger than the Olympics, right? It only comes once every 4 years. And so I kind of saw that coming. Obviously, by the time that news was delivered, we saw that coming. But 3 weeks ago, if you said they're going to cancel the Olympics, we would have been like, no way. And sure enough, it happened.
I think that's the thing that I think about. We were talking on the stream yesterday about when we think we will all be back together again. in the same room and social distancing will be over. I went home and I started thinking about that, and I thought if Japan and the IOC are canceling the Olympics in July, granted, it's the world coming together, but they're not thinking this is going to be over and done and it's not going to be safe, so they're putting them off for a year. And I wondered how much will really change here. When will things be safe enough? If we flatten the curve with the social distancing and then we go back too soon, the experts are saying you'll see another bump, another spike in cases. So I'm not 100%, I don't know what will happen. I'm not 100% certain that late spring is even going to be enough. Who knows?
We've gotten some comments from our
I
viewers.
talked to
and
one of our colleagues, Amy Brooks, who
Oh,
you
yeah,
know is
go
an
ahead.
editor at the station, and I was talking to her yesterday. We hadn't talked in a while, and I asked her that question. You know, just it's kind of like the end question now I have for all of our friends there at the station when I talk to them. Hey, when do you think we'll see each other face to face again? And Amy said, who knows? But then she added, you know, my husband doesn't think we'll get back together at the station like we used to until the start of the next year. I said, what? No way. But
I could see that
some
happening.
people are even extending it that far, to the end of the year.
That's crazy to think. Let's pull
Who
up some
knows?
of the comments from people, because we posted this on our Facebook page early this morning. Noah says for him the moment this March was seeing all the toilet paper off the shelves. That actually, now that I remember going to Fred Meyer's, and I mean, kind of early on, I remember the first weekend and I went in there and it was just a weird feeling. And you see some of the shelves, you know, empty, and it was the hand sanitizer and it was the toilet paper. And you heard customers just walking through the aisles saying the word coronavirus. It was freaky. Megan says, running out of PPE as a healthcare worker, that was her moment. I had a feeling this pandemic would get bad, but I am just in shock that we don't have enough PPE to keep everyone safe. Keep all healthcare workers in your thoughts, everyone. Send us all lots of good juju. We need it. We definitely are, Megan. Thank you so much for what you do and going to work every day. Christy says her moment was when her daughter would have 2 weeks of spring break. Then it quickly changed to a month off. And now maybe they are not going back to school at all for this school year. I know a lot of districts are really thinking about that and trying to get some online learning going. Do we have any more comments? Chris says, I didn't think I would see this level of uncertainty. That said, I also hoped for, but wasn't sure I'd see, such an incredible amount of kindness from people. And I really think that it is bringing us together. I'm smiling more at strangers I see, you know, out and about from far away, and I'm getting more smiles back of just like, you know, it's just that kind of connection that you make with somebody walking past of like, I understand what you're doing staying away, and I understand, you know, coming from all sides.
Yeah, 100%. Reading some of the stream comments, Amy says the same thing. It was when they closed schools that it became real for her. And then we have Brian Matthews, our director, same thing. Schools closing was it for me. Rochelle says when they closed Disneyland. So that was another biggie. Yeah, remember that?
I know we have a pause right now. Drew, I'm picking you. How
Yes.
is your wife, Mia? She was
That's
really
fine.
worried
Here's
about
my struggle this morning.
all
For some
this.
reason, my internet connection at home is terrible, so I can't see any of the,
the
the
text
live
and
stream
stuff.
comments right now. I went back to the post we put out earlier this morning, though, about this very topic. And one of the viewers, Sue Dotson, said of the things she did not see coming this month, she said she didn't see her husband breaking his ankle, which apparently happened.
Oh, no.
And I thought to myself, what a terrible time. You don't want to get hurt right now, right? Like my wife keeps yelling at our kids, don't fall down. We can't afford stitches right now. We
don't
can't
wanna
afford
go to the
sprained ankles. We
hospital.
can't afford broken arms. Like we do not want to be at a hospital right now. So
Yeah.
stop running into each other. And seriously, like this is not a time you want to get hurt.
No, definitely not.
Drew, I have to say, one of the things I loved during our show today was when you had a viewer on. Greg Broadwater is now commenting on the stream, so
What's
he's
up,
sticking
Greg?
with us. Yeah. He says, my guess is that everybody will get back together July-ish before extroverts can unite. I like that comment. Yeah, we got to wait a while. Oh, my goodness.
What's the vibe at home now,
we
Drew?
went outside last night at 7
with
o'clock.
you at home and like
I
working
just went out with my
and
2 boys and we did some clapping and pot and pan banging.
Yeah.
And we were the only ones in the neighborhood to do that. So waiting for others in our neighborhood to join us at 7 p.m. But last night we were the only ones.
Yeah.
Sabrina has something interesting to say. Let me pull it. Oh, we're getting more comments and I just lost my place. Okay, Sabrina Ray.
Oh, Brina, I've got.
I think this is good. She says,
Yeah.
I wish you guys would say how good we are doing by social distancing. We need to know that we're doing good too. Let me give you a standing ovation. Because the people that I'm seeing around just, my little trek into work, into the grocery store and home again, appreciate you big time.
Yeah, and they said it. I mean, we did that story, I think it was on Friday, that social distancing, everyone, here in Oregon and Washington for the most part is doing really well, and it is working to, kind of flatten the curve. We are going to see it go up as more tests become available, and yes, it just easily spreads so much, but keep it up. Don't get lax about it just because it's gone on for so long. But April 1st tomorrow is just crazy. That I posted this meme the other day, or this tweet from somebody that said, like middle school teachers way in the future in decades, they're going to teach about the 20s, where there was a presidential impeachment, threat of a U.S.-Iranian war, global pandemic, and massive economic recession. And the students are going to ask, oh, what years in the 2020s was that? And the teacher will say, oh, that was the first 3 months of 2020.
Oh my
It is just crazy how far, like Christmas was only 3 months ago, which is just nuts.
I want you guys to weigh in on this because I think this is a good point. Cindy Streetman Wheeler says, I wish somebody would address what businesses could do to help stop the spread of the virus. I hear a lot of businesses still using water coolers. And I have been getting viewers contacting me worried about their work. And the Business of Labor and Industries is wanting to hear from people who work somewhere that is not taking social distancing seriously and other safety measures. We've been running stories. Somebody was talking about a post office that they were concerned about where people would go into the business to mail something, or they've got some kind of, whatever they're doing there, and they're just packed in. They're like, there's not 6 feet. The people behind the counter are worried about, offending the customers. They're worried about their safety. We want a shield like they have at the registers of grocery stores. We feel really vulnerable. It blows my mind, Drew, that with all that's happening right now, some places still are having trouble getting on board with the state orders of what we all should be doing if we have to be in public.
Yeah, there really is no explanation for that, right? I'm with you. I don't know how or why there are groups that are still not getting on board with the order. I think what's most difficult, one of the things that makes this difficult is the fact that we don't have an end date, right? We don't have an expiration date because we as a society are so scheduled. Everything is timed out. We know when things are going to begin, when they're going to end. We all plan things so well, and we can't plan on this one. And it's very difficult to know when the heck is it going to end. Like it's even doing the stream. It's not the same as it was before when we could all see each other's faces. There's a bit of a delay between Rod and I and the rest of you because we're in our homes in Vancouver and here in Clackamas County. And if you told me, hey, this is the way you're going to have to do the stream for the next 8 months, I'd be like, forget about it. This is just, it just doesn't work. But we just keep pushing on thinking, okay, maybe not too much longer. Maybe it won't be that much longer. When you sit down and think about it, and when you think about the fact that you don't know how much longer life is going to look like this, it can be a little bit unsettling, to put it that way.
Yeah, we're getting comfortable with discomfort. I think everybody en masse. This was kind of funny, the things that I could never have imagined. In the first week of April, my oldest is going to be 27, and he asked for his birthday. I said, hey, what do you want? We can send you something. And he said, I want you to send me toilet paper.
For real?
For real. He goes, hand sanitizers and toilet paper. I really just need the basics right now. And I thought, I never thought that I would hear that come out of his mouth.
Wow, no kidding.
Yeah, right?
That's just weird.
crazy.
How is he going to celebrate?
Can
How
I
are you
ask
guys going to
a question
celebrate?
about that?
He's going to be working. You know, he's got I think his birthday's on a Tuesday. So, I mean, his day, and he works with a vulnerable population. So, you know, they're doing everything that they can to keep those older folks safe right now. So he's pretty consumed with just what's right in front of him. Eventually, we'll have time to celebrate, but that's not what's on his mind right now.
Yeah.
Since your son brought it up, Brenda, maybe we can get an update from the entire gang here, because I am somewhat curious. I've been to the store how many times in the last 2 weeks? At least 4. Haven't seen toilet paper on the shelves at our Safeway in that entire time. Somehow we still have enough rolls here at our house, but I'm curious if any of you are sort of like concerned about your toilet paper stash at this point.
Rod?
Well, I say it's, I'm going to say for, I don't know, was it? No, I'm going to go back to maybe last Friday or so. It seems like all the stores we go to are the crowds are down and the stores are pretty much stocked. So I know the Costco we went to.
With toilet
got
paper?
all kinds of Kirkland toilet paper. Yeah, the Winco up here in Clark County.
Life is better in Clark County, Drew. Have you not learned this from your colleague?
That's interesting.
Well, we go outdoors a lot, so we don't need as much paper.
Leaves and such.
Oh, jeez. Oh, gosh.
We shouldn't have started with Rod.
Somebody-
That is the problem.
Yeah, somebody stop him.
We're different
Nina,
up
Brenda,
here.
how's your
You
TP
started it.
situation?
You know what? Same, Drew. QFC, which is kind of the closest store to my house, every time I went in there, the shelf was wiped out, even though there's a big sign that says 1 package per person. So I'd get up to the register and I'd always ask, when are you going to get another shipment of toilet paper? And oh, Saturday morning, but don't go at 8 a.m. when they open because there's a line out the door. People are waiting to get in. Maybe about 10 a.m. I mean, they have a whole strategy. Well, I wasn't there at 10 a.m. So again, I go in, no toilet paper. But yesterday, this is how the conversation in our households have changed, because Jeff, my boyfriend, says, I went to QFC right at the right time and they had toilet paper. So he like got a package of toilet paper
Wow.
and brought it home. So I mean, I think we're good to go. Nina, what about you guys?
I mean, I never was on this panic toilet paper thing ever once. And in each bathroom, I keep, you know, like a stack of 3 rolls under the cabinet within reach. And so, you know, we've got rolls in each bathroom. I've got a little, you know, stash of probably 6 more in the linen closet. It's fine. I just don't want to fall into that freak out mode yet.
Hoarding mode, exactly.
I'm more about like
Well,
fresh
listen,
food.
have you bought any, Nina, in the last couple of weeks?
We
or you were just
did.
kind of living off the stash you had from 3 weeks ago?
We went to, before this whole stay-at-home thing started, we went to Newport, as I told you, several weekends ago, and we stopped at Fred
Yes.
Meyer in Newport on our way home because we figured, well, this is going to be probably an easier shopping situation than like in the city. And they had probably, the whole shelf was empty except for like 5 packages of just 4 rolls. And they had signs that says you could only take, you know, 3 packages per person. And there was a woman standing right in front of the sign, right in front of the toilet paper, and she was just standing there like this close, reading the fine print. And so I was like standing behind her like, well, how long is this gonna take? And so finally I just reached around her and I was like, excuse me, and I grabbed, you know, 2 of the 4 or 5 that were waiting there because she was taking so dang long, and there was some for her. But yeah, so we just got 2 packages over on the coast, and that's been okay. But yeah, I'm more like fresh food. I've got, you know, freezer stash of stuff and pantry, you know, dry pasta and pasta sauce and rice and all that good stuff. But fresh veggies and like fruit and stuff, I'm more kind of like concerned about getting, I guess.
Yeah, those are like the shelves are filled with that stuff.
We should clarify that the weekend that Nina went to the coast, it was only a questionable decision the weekend she went. The very
True.
next weekend, it would have been a terrible decision to go to the coast.
Brenda was a good.
You went before it became outright wrong.
Yes. She kept me in check when I got back and said maybe I shouldn't have done that. But we were quarantining inside the room. It was not the weekend that everyone went nuts, and it was not the sunny weekend. It was a weekend that it snowed here. So we missed the snow, and we were over in Newport and waving to the sea lions and all that. So yeah.
Oh my gosh, now our
See,
our executive
our producer,
producer.
Celeste Ruiz, did you see that,
what?
Brenda?
Yeah,
What'd she
go,
say?
go, Drew.
Celeste actually comments, we've been living roll to roll at our apartment, Celeste points out.
no.
Every store we go to never has packs of toilet paper. We keep having to go to our neighborhood co-op, the only place we've found toilet paper, and purchase our limit of 1 roll per shopper. She says she's been doing this roll to roll toilet paper shopping for the past 2 weeks.
Yikes.
It is still a problem for some people.
You know what I saw that was really
We don't all
helpful,
live in Clark
actually?
County, Rod.
You know the Store City Liquidators that's
Yeah.
been around forever?
Yeah.
They posted today on Instagram, or maybe it was last night, that you never really think of them. They are still open. They have all. Remember when you walk? I don't know if you guys have been there in a while. When you walk in, there's like cleaning supplies and kitchen stuff. They have bleach and sponges, and I don't think toilet paper, but all kinds of cleaning products that have also been sold out on the shelves. I just want to give a quick check-in to YouTube. Andy at Andy PDX says he's a new viewer to us. Hello, Andy. He says this
Andy.
is hilarious.
What's up,
Watching
Andy?
us, and he says no, he's not worried about toilet paper, but the fresh food worry is legit. And then he tells me stay away from Newport. Seriously, stay away from Newport. I have, Andy. This was several weeks back.
No, you
So
shouldn't
it's
have brought
okay.
it up.
I shouldn't have brought it up.
You shouldn't.
I
You
just
did
wanna
it to
be honest.
yourself. Julie Wyatt says not being able to visit loved ones who are in the hospital, hard for her. And then Ginny Carlson, hey girl, says just the loss of control, kind of doing what you want to do when you want to do it. It's like for the greater good, we can't.
Okay, you guys. Oh, Men in Pajamas on Twitter. One of my favorite handles, Men in Pajamas, up there with Dotes Magoats. He says, one negative issue I found is armchair doctors and nurses sitting at home on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram, kind of, quarterbacking this whole situation. One positive issue is folks at home are recognizing just how wonderful pajamas are. Amen. Very true. Men in pajamas. That's what he says.
He would know.
All right, you guys, thank you so much for chatting. I miss you. We will see you tomorrow on Sunrise Extra. Bye.